Hello, good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, join అయ్యారా మ్యామ్? మ్యామ్ మీది ఎలా ఉంటుంది మ్యామ్? ఐ మీన్ హౌ డు ఐ రికగ్నైజ్ యూ హియర్? తెలియకే ఫోన్ చేస్తాను. లీలా రాణి. ఎస్ మ్యామ్, ఎస్ మ్యామ్. సారీ మ్యామ్, థ్యాంక్ యూ. Good evening, Leela Rani ma'am.
Good evening, Dr. Anupama. Good evening.
Shall we start, ma'am?
Yeah, sure, Andy.
Very good evening, Leela Rani ma'am, the guest speaker for today, and my dear participants. So this is the 4th day of International Nutritional Webinar 2K22. And we have covered 3 days, ma'am, wherein we dealt with many topics which are of high interest to the people with respect to the nutritional aspects, prebiotics, probiotics, and then food safety. Today, we are inviting you, ma'am, to talk about functional foods and pharmaceuticals. Before going ahead with ma'am's talk, may I request my colleague, Dr. Mausmi Shankar, ma'am, to introduce our guest speaker to the audience. Over to Mausmi Shankar, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. A warm welcome, ma'am. This is Leela, ma'am, for your show. So today's guest speaker, Mrs. Leela Rani Allah. She is the director of Lee Pharma Limited, Lee Health Domain, a second-generation entrepreneur who is presently serving as a director of Lee Pharma Limited a US FDA and EU GMP approved pharmaceutical company with its presence in the manufacturing of APIs, semi-finished dosage forms, and finished formulations with 4 manufacturing facilities across the states of Andhra and Telangana. She is also one of the directors of Lee Health Domain, a company involved in the retailing and distribution of nutraceuticals and Ayurveda products. She is a postgraduate with Master of Science honors in Biological Sciences from the prestigious Birla Institute of Technology Sciences, Pilani, that is BIT Pilani. Being a passionate environmentalist, she is spearheading a national for safe segregation and disposal of e-waste. She is also an active member of Project Green Kitchen, where waste management programs like composting are conducted for women. Interactive environmental webinars and sessions are being conducted by her for children to meet the UNSDG goals. Mrs. Leela Rani is currently the chairperson of Women Entrepreneurship Wing of AP Chambers, where the team under her leadership has a vision for creating empowerment in women. With this brief note up, we welcome you, ma'am, to deliver your talk. Over to Leela, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Mausami, and thank you, Dr. Anupama and the team of St. Joseph College for Women. it's a great opportunity for me to present a talk to all the students and the participants here. So before we start, I think our topic is about functional foods and nutraceuticals, a new health perspective which we're going to discuss today. So can I just share my screen? I'd be just sharing my screen now.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet, ma'am. Not seen, ma'am.
1 second.
Yes, ma'am, you're presenting.
Yeah. So actually today
Yes,
our
ma'am.
topic is functional foods and nutraceuticals. So before we actually step into the topic, I would like to understand what does health mean to each one of us. Can anybody just uh, can anybody just raise your hand, and any one of you?
Yes, you can unmute and say also.
Yeah, because
Yes, ma'am.
see, generally I do a lot of interactive sessions, so I don't know if just speaking on one side would be really boring. So any one of you can just unmute and let me know what does health mean to you.
I think it. Good morning, ma'am.
Good
Good
morning.
evening, ma'am. I think it means proper functioning of your organs and whole body.
Okay, good. Anybody else? I mean, we'll just have two, three, perspectives of what health means to each one of us. Maybe even your ma'am can answer. Dr. Anupama can also answer. What does health mean to us?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah.
Health is a complete physical, mental, social well-being, ma'am.
Okay. Very good.
Good evening, ma'am. Health is not the mere absence of disease. It is the overall, the physical, mental, emotional, and social aspect, social well-being of an individual.
Okay. Physical, emotional, mental, and social. Right. Very good. Anything else? That's it. I mean, have
Two
we
people
covered
have
it?
raised their hands, ma'am. I'm just waiting for them to speak up.
Yeah.
Teja Shivaganesh garu, you can speak up.
Yeah, see, previously we used to think that, health is just, even now, most of us, we think that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, right? So, what does social well being means actually? I think Radhika Garu has said social well being, no? So, what does social well being mean to us?
Basically, it is not just at the individual level. If the individual is healthy, the family is healthy. If the family is healthy, the community is healthy. So it kind of cascades into different levels.
Correct. So, this is what we all have been thinking till now. I mean, like recent, like 2, 3 years back, even, if an individual is healthy, or if a community is healthy, if a country is healthy, if the world is healthy, then everybody is healthy. So, does it stop there? Beings are healthy, human beings throughout the world are healthy, then everybody has a good health. But I think today we are going to discuss and start off with a very the latest perspective of what health is. Okay, so what have we been missing now?
Our health is our future.
Yeah, so we have been I think all humans, I think we are always in this context or viewpoint that human beings or our well-being depends only on the well-being of the humankind, but that is not what it is, right? So now there is a new concept and new perspective of something called a planetary health. So in 2016, this concept has been formalized by the United Nations Framework Convention for Climate Change. So I think all of us are really, we understand biodiversity loss. I think after COVID, we understand that only if humans are healthy, that doesn't make any sense to our health, because if there is loss of biodiversity, lot of viruses, lot of other infectious microorganisms, birds, they play a major role in protecting our health, which we have been, actually we forgot that we all think that we are only the people on this planet. So we really don't understand this concept, or we're not focusing on our mind that all these living organisms, they actually make an ecosystem. So when that ecosystem is healthy, only then each one of us will be healthy. So why is this happening? I mean, like, there is a lot of there is a loss in biodiversity, there is depletion of fresh water, aquatic organisms are becoming extinct because of the pollution of the oceans. So and the land usage also, I mean, like, for the agriculture, the land usage has been depletion of the quality of soil. I mean, now everybody's talking about soil health, how the organisms in the soil are really important for us to have to grow nutritious food, in fact. So the soil health is very important. So today, I thought, because most of the students are joining, so I thought, why not introduce it in a different perspective? Only health and nutrition, we just talk about ourselves. So why this is a very this cascades into a higher level. I mean, now it is not about public health or global health; it is about the planetary health.
Yes, ma'am.
So so for us human beings, we are at the center for this sustainable development, because we human, our well-being depends on well-being of the earth, including both its living and non-living organisms. So health is the most basic right of each one of us. So we need to rely on our ecosystem to support healthy communities and societies. And these ecosystems, when they function really well, they provide us all the essential things which are needed for our health. Things like food security, clean air, fresh water, cultural and spiritual values, and the contributions to the local livelihoods and economic development. All these are integrated. None of these factors are individual factors. They're all dependent factors. None of these are independent factors. So our health is obviously intertwined and interlinked with the planetary health. So this is what I wanted to just give a perspective of this topic, though this is not exactly related to what we are going to talk today. But I thought, as many students are joining, and they should always think in that perspective, work in that perspective when they grow up, and then when they want to start some entrepreneurship, or they're thinking about some innovation. We need to keep this in mind, because this is going to be the biggest challenge which humankind is going to face in the coming years. Okay, right. So we are going to just step up into our topic. So today we are talking about functional foods and nutraceuticals in our health, or maintaining our health. So we all know that prevention is better than cure. So when we are talking about preventive healthcare, these are all the aspects when it comes to us human beings. And when we are talking about ourselves, like when we are confined to human beings, these are the important factors which actually affect our health. So some of the factors like nutrition, movement. Why have I given here movement? Can anybody just given their idea or perspective about why moving is so important? Anybody? I mean, you can.
Moving, I think it's physical fitness, which is important for good health.
Yes. So we human beings over a period of time, evolutionary, our genes and our genetic makeup actually is made up of, we were hunters, right? We were hunters, we were nomads, we were people who were always moving. I think sedentary lifestyle is what has come in now.
Yes, ma'am.
So our genes are not made for sitting idle or sitting at one place. So this is one of the very most important or the major factor which has been affecting all the chronic diseases which we have been facing now. All the there is disruption in the metabolism. There are a lot of diseases like diabetes, arthritis, then hypertension. All this is happening only because there is no movement. We have all become, I mean, that inertia has come into us and we have all become sedentary. And then there is this passion and purpose. So how is this linked to our health? Any ideas? Any just views from anybody?
The audience, please speak up.
I think I would really love if any of the children, I mean, the students can come up with their perspective on this.
Yes, please unmute yourself and speak. Bhuneshwari garu, you can speak.
So, okay. So, see, all of us need to have some goal in life. I mean, like there needs to be some purpose of what we are doing. Like at every age in our life, we have some purpose, right? When we are children, we have either we have to study, we have to go out and play, and then we have to eat good food, or we have different hobbies. So there is some purpose in life. Yeah.
Ma'am, just a minute, ma'am. Someone has shared the screen. Sharon Rocha. Can you please stop sharing the screen? Miss Sharon, please stop.
Can I please continue?
Yes, ma'am. Someone has shared the screen, ma'am. That's why we are getting resound. Miss Sharon, can you please? Miss Sharon?
Yeah, I think now we are not getting the resound. So
yes, ma'am.
Let's continue. So all of us need to have some passion or some purpose in life, other than what our work is. See, because all of us cannot, pursue or do what we really dream about or what we really are interested in, because we have different duties and responsibilities, especially women. I think we need to pursue this passion and have purpose in life, even after we grow up, even after we have kids, even after we have a lot of responsibilities, because that actually sustains and maintains your mental health. So
sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Your screen is not visible.
Is it not visible for you?
No, the presentation is not visible. Is it just me, or like is it for everybody? I'm not sure.
No, ma'am, it's visible.
Actually, someone, Sharon, one lady, she started sharing the screen. So I had to remove her from the meet, ma'am. So now please, can you share the screen?
Mine is already on sharing, Andi. So
okay. I'm just pinning yours. Ma'am, okkar andaru pin cheskondi. Previously, someone has shared the screen. Yes, ma'am.
So, can you see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So these are some of the important things like passion and purpose as we are talking. And then the most important thing, I think everybody agrees that today, rest and relaxation. So So one of the most important thing is our lives have become so, at the same time we are saying we are sedentary, and at the same time we are saying that we don't have rest. So these are two contradicting, or it is very, what do you say? I mean, ironical to say that, actually we're not moving, but still we don't have rest. So constantly there is so much of juggling happening, so many things are going on in our mind, and we need to pause somewhere, and this, especially sleep and relaxation, is very important to maintain our health and to sustain good health for a very long time. And then the last but not the least, I think, and one of the most important aspect of spirituality, which I personally believe that power, and power in some higher strength, power in the universe, gives you a lot of strength to your mind and body. So that is also one of the important aspects of having a good health.
Ma'am,
Or
one humble
maintain.
request, ma'am. Can you please stop sharing the screen and share again? Because many are saying that they are not able to see the screen. They didn't ping you because of a
Okay.
small disturbance from one of the participants.
No
Your
problem.
screen
No
has
problem.
got
I
moved
mean,
out.
you're able to hear me, right?
Yes,
No
ma'am. Yes,
problem.
ma'am. But they're asking for this thing,
Yeah.
for screen in the chat box. Lots of things are popping up in the chat box.
No problem. So is my screen visible
Yes,
now
ma'am.
to everybody? Yeah. No problem. So, okay. So we were talking about, I mean, I've just shown some, cute pictures on the screen about nutrition and movement and passion and purpose and rest and relaxation and spirituality. I think these are all, so like we mentioned that here when we were talking previously about the mental, physical and social well-being, all this comes under these factors. So today, health, when we're talking about health, I think most of the cultures, not only, I mean, Indian culture, especially in our Ayurveda, or all the other traditional cultures like the Japanese, Korean, or the Chinese, where most of the people believe that these cultures, they recognize that food has the capacity to both heal and harm. I think this is what is the science which is actually taking in a lot of interest to the scientific community about how food can heal and harm. In the past, I think much of the medical research into nutrition has focused on the ways in which foods harm health and contribute to the risk of chronic diseases like you should not eat refined sugars, or you should not eat too much of spicy food or things like that. So previously a lot of research has gone into how these foods actually they not help, but they are responsible for the risk of chronic diseases. But now in present, recently, a lot of research has begun to explore the potential for food to help, how food can actually help in dealing with the chronic diseases, even perhaps as the frontline treatment, and even improve the outcomes when compared to the uh, actual allopathic medicine or the pharmaceutical medicine which we are talking about. So today, as we are majorly talking about food and nutraceuticals, so we will be concentrating only on how these foods actually help in reducing the impact of the chronic disease, or even to the extent of treating them. So this is a definition which I've just placed here. So what is nutrition? This is the process of obtaining food for health and growth. This aspect of nutrition is only to keep you alive and functioning, only to give you that minimal support to be alive. But what exactly is optimal nutrition? So here comes our topic, or whatever you people have been studying, of what is nutrition and what is optimal nutrition. So here the right amount of nutrients and at a proper schedule, in a proper schedule, to achieve the longest possible lifetime in good health. So this is not about having just good food, but having good food, knowing, understanding what food is made up of, and basically because life expectancy has improved. I mean, our age now almost 80, 85. So we need to be healthy for whatever lifetime we are living, right? So we don't want to suffer from, we are suffering though, but the lot of population is suffering from many chronic diseases. But we are talking today about how nutrition can help to maximize health, happiness, and well-being. So these are some of the impacts of what a optimal nutrition does. So what happens when you have optimal nutrition? So you will have good immunity. I think this immunity is the buzzword right now post COVID. Everybody, all of us are interested in building up our immune system. So optimal nutrition is really one of the key factors in building up our immunity. At the same time, sleep, which most of us don't give so much of importance, but we know that, we've been hearing from our elders that, a baby grows when she's actually sleeping. So when I was a kid, I used to wonder, how will we grow when we sleep? So, but that is what science is all about. That is what it is telling. That is the truth, that, we actually grow when we sleep. I mean, when the body is at rest. So at the same time, so if you have a good sleep, you have a good growth and development, and you have a good sleep and you have good food, then the next morning you get up really, there is no fatigue, you have loads of energy, and you can sustain the whole day. I mean, we can do all our work really, really well. I mean, we can concentrate on whatever we are doing. And here comes the cognitive function. So only when there is optimal nutrition to your body, when there is good sleep, when there is good energy and growth and development, we will be able to think or rationalize things properly. Only our cognitive functions will work properly, and even our joint health. So this topic I am going to deal a little extensively at the end of this slide. So because this is what we have been working a lot on, the joint health. So I would like to highlight a few aspects about joint health at the end of the presentation. At the same time, if you have good optimal nutrition, then obviously if your immunity is high, then you will not be prone to disease as easily as the person who has a lesser immunity. At the same time, like we mentioned, we will not be suffering from fatigue and tiredness, but this is what most of the women actually experience, fatigue and tiredness by the end of the day when we reach home. So what happens is, we are so involved in our daily chores, and actually taking care of the family, taking care of our children, going to workplace, and especially your professors who are actually working so much to give really good education to all the students, the lady professors. So I think we, at the end of the day, when you go back, we just want to go and sleep. Any working woman. So that fatigue, that tiredness will be reduced if we have optimal nutrition, good exercise, good sleep. So we need to take care of our cells to have a good overall health. So this I'm not going to talk much, because you're all biochemistry and biology students. So this is what all the essential nutrients, all the macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, fats, and fiber. This is what food is actually made up of, nutrient which we need to focus on. So here we come into our topic, and what are functional foods. I think we know what is food, right? Whatever we take in. But when we actually understand the nutrition value or the importance of the food, when it has some proven physiological benefits, and when it reduces the risk of chronic diseases, that is what we call as functional foods. So when we talk about some there are all the plant, animal, marine sources, all, even the, like, I think you guys had prebiotics and probiotics session yesterday or day before. So those also come under functional foods, but only when they are, see, curd is a functional food because it is a probiotic. But when you actually isolate some probiotic bacteria and then give it in the form of, encapsulate in the form of a capsule or a tablet or a sachet, it becomes a nutraceutical. So that is what we're going to talk about later. So these are some of the examples of functional foods. I think all of us understand that, especially seafoods, fish is one of the most important thing because it has the omega-3 fatty acids. And then what else? Whole grains, fruits, and today I think berries, all over the place. We have all these blueberries, cranberries, and many actually packed processed berries, which many of the younger generation are now taking into consideration. But I think more than that, I think whatever seasonal fruits we have, whatever fruits come in season, like the chiku or grapes, whatever comes seasonally, if we eat them in season, I think they are all functional foods because they all have the what are all the nutraceutical benefits or the chemicals which are needed to build our health. So this is, we were talking about functional foods. They are classified into whole foods. Here, eggs, milk, and whole grains, soya. But when you talk about fortified foods, so this is what I was just mentioning, all how all the cereals are fortified with vitamins and minerals, and the dehydrated or the dried berries, or some even all the powders, like beverages are supplemented with vitamins and folic acid and all the other minerals which are needed for growth. So some oils are fortified with vitamin E. So some juices are fortified with vitamin C. So like that, these are all the fortified foods. So we are just quickly rushing through this because I wanted to concentrate more on one of the functional food, which is really, really now in, now the talk of the town. I think I heard some of your students have already started the enterprise also on millets, and I've just revealed the name. So millets. So why we are talking about millets, why we are going to talk about in depth about millets, not only about functional food, but like how I mentioned in the beginning of the talk, we were talking about planetary health. So how is this millets a solution to both the planet and the nutrition? So today, world is facing both agrarian and nutritional challenges. So why are we saying agrarian challenges? Just to make it simple, why we are saying that agriculture is a challenge today? Can any of you just come up with one idea, quick, somebody, just one thought about why we are facing challenges in agriculture today?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Maybe because food production is less nowadays.
Yes, why? But most of there are foods which are being wasted also when there is overproduce.
Yeah, maybe due to seasonal changes, some main food products are not being able to be produced.
Correct. Seasonal changes. Anything else anybody would like to share in their viewpoint?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Maybe due to fertilizers, it decreases the soil quality and increases the challenges.
Yeah, soil health is one of the key aspects. Like how we mentioned, soil health is deteriorating. So all these aspects are really extensive aspects. Maybe sometime we can have a detailed webinar on soil health and all that. So today, when we are talking about why we are stressing so much about millets, not only because it is good for weight loss, not only because it has a lot of nutrients, but it is very, very important, one of the important way in which we could overcome the climate change or the crisis of whatever we are facing, the climate crisis which we are going to face in the future. We have already started and it's going to intensify as time comes. So, what is happening? Like, there is the fertility of the soil is decreasing, and then many of the lands, because the fertility is lost, they are becoming non-productive lands. There are dry lands are increasing because there is no rainfall, which should happen in time. There is a lot of fluctuation in seasons. We don't get rain like how we used to when we were kids. Like, we knew that this day it's going to rain, or this is the time, maybe June first week it's going to rain. So now today it's not happening like that. Even there is a lot of satellites and weather predictions, but everything is so dynamic, everything is so uncertain, that the changes in the environment are so uncertain. So sometimes we really don't know how many cyclones, how many, or there is no rain at all. So there is a lot of uncertainty happening in the environment. So how can millets actually help as a climate change compliant crops? So these millets actually, they score more above other grains like wheat and rice. So why we're talking about they score more above wheat and rice? Because these millets, they are not water intensive crops, so they really don't require so much of rainfall, or they really don't need so much of water, like how other crops like wheat, rice and sugarcane, and those are all water intensive crops. So, and they also, their conditions, marginal growing conditions, and the top of it, the best of this is, in spite of all this, millets are one of the most highly nutritious grains which we have. So now we understand that without using water also, without having fertile lands also, it is such a, I mean, sometimes if you think, it is so beautiful, right? They don't require anything, but they are giving you such nutritious value. So these millets are going to be the future. So these millets, they are a powerhouse of vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, phytochemicals, antioxidants. So these antioxidants, I think all of us have been hearing a lot, because after when nowadays cancer is prevalent everywhere, so we know that we need to have antioxidants in our body. So, and they're also, and the most challenging thing and the most important solution that millets give is they actually eradicate malnutrition. So there are countries, there are underdeveloped countries which are still suffering from malnutrition. And even in India, there are places, there are states where the children don't get sufficient food, and due to which they suffer malnutrition. So this is a challenging task, and cultivation can actually help us keep our dry lands productive and ensure food and nutritional security. So we have, before we go into the slide, we have actually discussed this. I was just talking about this. So how millets produce food security, nutritional security, economic security, and safety from the diseases. So when we are talking as children who are going to be the future generations of this world, so you need to understand that everything needs to go in tandem, and we need to have a holistic approach when we are talking about health or nutrition or even wealth. So wealth is not only economic development, even ecologically, environmentally, we need to be sustainable. Only then, it's going to work out in the future. So here we have just listed down that how millets, help in food security, sustainable food source, and they're resilient to climatic stress, even pests. So this is one of the most important thing which I did not mention before. So because we have been using so many fertilizers, and the land has become so it has become completely chemical. There is no organic life in the soil. So what happens when there is no organic life? There is the nature's balance is disturbed, and a lot of pests invade the plants. And to overcome those pests, we again spray some other chemicals. So this is a chain reaction which keeps cascading over a period of time. So one of the most important, and this is very, very helpful to the farmers because they are resilient to climate stress pests. And on top of it, they're rich in all the micronutrients like calcium, iron, zinc, iodine, etc., and the bioactive compounds, which we are going to talk very soon, and better amino acid profile. So we are all biochemistry students, so I hope you understand all these terms. So you people need to dig in more and establish your research if somebody wants to do research in future. So this will be a good base for you to work on how we can actually bring in sustainable food into our plate. So there are also a lot of, if we want to understand the practical aspects of it, how they help us from diseases. I think many of us have started into millet diet because they're gluten free, and they're good for diabetic, because diabetics, India is one of the more nation which has highest numbers in diabetes. So millets actually help in their diabetic friendly diseases. They help in combating cardiovascular diseases, anemia, calcium deficiency. And like we mentioned previously, how economic security, so this is what it is. So it is climate resilient, sustainable income source for farmers. It is low investment. That is one of the key aspects of it, because you don't need much water. There is low consumption of power. There is low consumption of water. There is low consumption of fertilizers. So it is actually sustainable. It is low investment needed for the production. And value addition, so which we're just going to talk in the next slide. So how this value addition for millets actually leads to economic gains. And India, I think, has definitely a multiple variety of millets where the value addition when done to these millets can actually give in a lot of economic advantage. So these are all the different kinds of millets which are available. So just mentioned that it is not small millets, or it is not Nikrishta Dhanya, it is Shri Dhanya. So we use in India Shri for something which is wealthy, something which is respectable, something which has a lot of value to it. So millets are considered as Shri Dhanya or Siri Dhanyalu. So that is what it is called in Telugu. So it is Siri Dhanyalu means it has a lot of wealth in the aspect of nutrition, wealth in the aspect of economic gain, wealth in the aspect of food security, wealth in the aspect of, income to the farmers. So this is what some of the millets: pearl millet, kodo millet, little millet. I think all of you know, you are aware about millets. So korralu, samalu, udalu, this is what we call in Telugu. So this we've already mentioned. So the slide is already covered. So these are one of the most, so I thought I should take in more time to discuss about millets as a functional food. So the innovations done in this field have a greater opportunity. So these are some of the diseases, how, health conditions which these millets prevent. Finger millets prevent osteoporosis, pearl millets prevent anemia, foxtail millets build immunity, and millets contain a bioactive compound called phenols, which is actually antioxidant, anti-mutagenic, anti-estrogenic, anti-inflammatory, and antiviral. They have everything. You just have to go into literature and write in millets work for everything. So there are some important aspects which need to be taken care when the processing of the millets is happening, because we are actually into processing of some of the millets. We tie up with farmers. We are, because I am a woman entrepreneur, we are supporting a lot of women farmers who are growing millets, and then we help them in processing of the millets, and we help them how value addition can be done to it. And this is one of the facts which we need to know, that recently in 2023, the Finance Minister of India has declared that 2022-23 is the International Year of Millets, and support will be provided for post-harvest, enhancing domestic consumption, and for branding millet products nationally and internationally. So it is like a superfood. Okay, so this is the second topic which we are going to talk about nutraceuticals. So when we talk about nutraceuticals, there is not a much difference between functional foods and nutraceuticals, because into a pill or a powder or a tablet, that is what we call as a nutraceutical. So I hope you can see. Can you see the classification? I mean, is it visible?
Please zoom it, ma'am.
Yeah. I think this is the highest. So let me just, I will just explain it. So we are saying the nutraceuticals can be classified based on the food source, mechanism of action, and chemical nature. So food source, I think all of you have had a seminar day before from the plant extracts, something like curcumin or some is gugilam we call in Telugu. So these are some of the nutraceuticals which come from the plants, and there are phytochemicals. These are also the chemicals which are extracted from the plants. And there are non-traditional nutraceuticals. These are fortified. Fortified nutraceuticals are also there, like something like lactoferrin, which is fortified with which is add which is added with folic acid, or which is added with vitamin C. So when you add some other important functional item or vitamin or mineral to it, then it becomes a fortified nutraceutical. And there are also recombinant nutraceuticals, and dependent on the chemical nature. So these are all the classifications. So this is there in the internet also. So this is like how the nutraceutical is classified based on their chemical nature. They are phenols and sterols, plant sterols, saponins, soy proteins, phytoestrogens. I think all of you would definitely know about these flavonoids, collagen hydrosilate, and tannins. These are all the chemical compounds which are present in plants and animals. So some of the nutraceuticals are classified based.
These nutraceuticals, is it
No,
safe
no,
to use
no.
without consultation?
Yeah, these are over the counter. These are OTC. So that is why we are allowed to sell on Amazon, because Amazon also has complete review and complete exercise which happens. So they will allow only the ingredients which are allowed to be sold OTC.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think no more queries from the audience.
Yeah, thank you
So
so
thank you
much.
once again, Leela ma'am, for sparing your valuable time. I understand that being the director of Lee Pharma, you must be very busy, and you also have to
Excuse
attend
me,
the
madam.
meeting.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes, Jayapurada ma'am.
Is there any institute offering internship program in nutraceuticals, madam?
Institute.
Yes, ma'am.
I think people who study food and nutrition, they can pursue it further.
No, at any specific institute for
So I think
nutraceuticals, ma'am.
you have a talk tomorrow from Nutrify, no? Like somebody from Nutrify is talking to tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Nutraceuticals, I'm asking, madam.
No. I'm talking to Anupama Garu. So tomorrow you have a talk from
Yes,
Nutrify,
ma'am.
no?
We have Nutrify also
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, yeah. So Nutrify, they are actually running an academy. So I think tomorrow's speaker would be the best to answer about, which institutes offer you good courses in nutrition or nutraceuticals.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Is any more queries? Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Actually, we were told that this your company, you are one of the youngest entrepreneur here, and
Thank you.
home science department, and Padmavati ma'am from the commerce department. Here she has given your introduction, and she said you are the one of the best speaker for food and nutrition. If at all we are organizing any webinar, and thank you for accepting
Thank you
our
so much.
invitation. And from the Department of Biochemistry and from St. Joseph's College. Thank you, ma'am. We are honored to have you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I always take it as an opportunity when there is interaction with students, because more than anything, I think we need to bring in the perspective of holistic thinking to our children. So that is the most important thing. Rest all will follow. So yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Good day.
Bye
Happy
everyone.
evening.
Thank you.
Good day, ma'am. So good evening, one and all. Please leave the session and join for quiz. Check your WhatsApp groups. Keep checking your WhatsApp group. In 10 minutes from now, I'll be sharing link for quiz. Actually, ma'am said she offers, one of the faculty was saying she has job opportunities for chemistry students. I think that posts are filled up. She was willing to take CBZ students or MPC students, it seems. I heard that also.
Chemistry main.
Chemistry main, she was saying, it seems. You can leave the session. All the participants, you can leave the session. Ma'am, it's not posted in the YouTube. She said feedback link, but it's not posted. Ma'am, it's not posted. Feedback link akkada post cheyaledu tanu. Please post it again in the group only. తను అక్కడ ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ లింక్ అని పెట్టింది కానీ లింక్ పోస్ట్ చేయలేదు.
ఎక్స్క్యూజ్ మీ మ్యామ్.
మ్యామ్ మీ వాయిస్ రావట్లేదు. హలో
మ్యామ్, నేను లింక్ పెట్టాను, అంటే కాపీ చేసి పెట్టాను కానీ అది ఓపెన్ అవ్వట్లేదు మ్యామ్.
అవును, అందుకే మీరు షేర్ చేసేయండి.
3 times పెట్టాను నేను
గ్రూప్స్ లో షేర్ చేసేయండి మ్యామ్.
యూట్యూబ్ కామెంట్స్ లో.
మ్యామ్, am I audible?
వాట్సాప్ లో చేసేనా మ్యామ్?
చేసేయండి.
హలో మ్యామ్. సరే మ్యామ్.